I'm crashing out so fucking hard, bro. I can't do this.
I wake up every fucking morning to seeing some off-the-wall, crazy, wild shit that this administration has done.
I just paid $81 to fill my Honda Odyssey.
No way that this is just supposed to be like this is not what it's supposed to be like.
How did I walk into Family Dollar with $40 to buy 5 things? I left with $5.32.
Millions of Americans right now are losing hope. Rising rent, non-stop bill, and the crossing costs of living are making life harder every single month. Check this out.
I'm crashing out so fucking hard, bro. I can't do this. Who the fuck can keep doing this? Who can fucking keep doing this? I can barely fucking afford food. Gas is like $60 for a gallon for not even premium, bro. The fucking, look how shitty it looks. Our fucking the whole U.S. is falling apart. They're overdeveloping Florida, everything, the economy, the environment, everything is going to shit. And what are we doing? What the fuck are the American people doing? We're letting it happen. We're letting it happen. I don't know how much more I can fucking handle. How are you? Are you guys okay right now? Is anybody actually fucking okay?
So I just got robbed at Family Dollar. Yeah, and I'm trying to crash out, so bear with me. How did I walk into Family Dollar with $40 to buy 5 things? I left with $5.32. $5.32. I literally, I didn't buy anything luxurious. I bought a bottle of lotion, can of shaving gel, Vaseline, deodorant, can't be walking around here funky, and dinner for tonight. Make it make sense. At what point are we going to rally together as a community and say, hey, enough is enough? We should not be spending luxury prices on basic necessities. You used to be able to walk in a Family Dollar with $40 and be able to buy a month's worth of things. Necessities, snacks, groceries, whatever you needed for a month. 5 things? Bro.
Explain to me how we're supposed to get ahead in life. This is not the world that our grandparents grew up in. Wake up, my bank account's negative, and I ain't got no motherfucking gas in the damn tank. All my money goes to fucking health insurance half the time. Groceries are so expensive. Using a credit card for everything so you pay off your debt, and it doesn't matter because then the second you miss a day or 2 of work, you can't afford to pay any bills. So then you're using the credit cards all over again, and it's just an endless cycle, and there's no way that this is just supposed to be like this is not what it's supposed to be like. I don't understand how I'm ever gonna buy a house or ever own anything when this is literally the hardest thing. Why is living and surviving so fucking hard? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to get ahead. I start saving, and then all of a sudden I have to pull all my money out of savings because my bank account's negative, or a bill came out, or a bill was due. I'm just so mad. I'm so mad. Our grandparents didn't live like this. Ugh.
The older generation loves to say shit like, kids these days, they just want everything handed to them, or, back in my day, blah, 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 blah. I just paid $81 to fill my Honda Odyssey. Something that 6 months ago would have cost me $60. And my husband doesn't make any more money now than he did 6 months ago. But you better believe everything has been jacked up in price. Groceries cost more, gas costs more, everything costs more. What are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to keep up with the increase of prices on things if the amount of money we're making is not also reflecting the increase in prices? Minimum wage in my state is $7.25. Gas, I just paid $4.19 a gallon. So you're supposed to work over half an hour just for 1 gallon of gas? I just truly don't understand. This is a fucking crime on the goddamn American people, and I'm so fed up with it.
What's up, you guys? It's your girl Coco Filipina, and I just wanted to show you guys it's a sign of the times. Just cut EBT benefits into daddy food line, and this is what it looks like. Hold on. the worst part about it is they don't have enough food for everyone here. And I'm literally watching people in line breaking down in tears. This is America, I guess. I've tried to make this video probably 8 fucking times because my emotions are just all over the fucking place, because every day here in the United States, I wake up every fucking morning to seeing some off-the-wall crazy wild shit that this administration has done or whatever. I'm fucking sick of it. I am sick of it. I am sick of it. I am sick of it. You guys are fucking stupid. Stupid. Unintelligent, low IQ, you're fucking dumb, ignorant, unable to evolve, self-centered, misogynistic, narcissistic, evil, pedophiliac, fucking cannibalistic, fucking monsters. You don't give a fuck about women. You don't give a fuck about children. You don't give a fuck about U.S. citizens. You don't give a fuck about nothing, 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 nobody, nothing. Even you, MAGA, they don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. Whether you're MAGA, whether you're active duty or a veteran, or if you're white, even if you're white MAGA, they don't give a fuck about you. When will you guys realize that the 3,000 people hold 50% of the entire world's wealth? 3,000 people compared to the rest of us, there were 8 billion of us. We're not even human to them. We're not. We're cattle. You know that? They view us as cows. And just so you know, being woke is not an insult, it's a compliment. And I highly recommend you wake the fuck up too, before it's too late.
This is your reminder that hope is how change happens, not defeat. No rebellion ever happened because everyone was feeling defeated and hopeless. Stop the anti-hope propaganda. We know things are bad. There are so many things in America, in our system, that need to be fixed. But to believe that there's no way to fix it, that there's no way out of any of it, is to give up. You think they want people to feel hopeful? No, they want you to feel defeated, because if you feel defeated, you're not gonna do anything about it. And that's what they want. They want to be able to do whatever they want with no resistance, no rebellion, no protests, no one giving a fuck anymore. People are confusing hope with toxic positivity or with ignoring the reality. And I think that's where all this hate on hope comes from. Like, if you're hopeful, you must be ignorant. If you're hopeful, you must not see how bad things are in the country. But that's not true, because that's just ignoring the many, many times in history where people have been able to overcome oppressive governments and oppressive systems. And under much worse odds, mind you. So this is your reminder to have hope, because without hope, there's no change.
I don't know about anyone else, but I'm ready to physically pull up and fight Hope Gas. Like, if you're seeing this, read in between the lines, okay? How, and I mean how, did I pay $400 last month to you all, okay? If that wasn't bad enough. And then you send me a bill today, $397. How is my gas bill now $400 a month? What the actual F, okay? It went from being around $150 to now $400 a month. There's no effing way. There's no effing way that my utilities should be adding up more than my house payment. At this point, what the... I'm ready to crash out. Is anyone else dealing with this? Like, I know there is people, actually, because I've seen tons of videos. What the... I'm sorry.
Gas is high, groceries is high, light bill is high, car insurance is freaking ridiculous. Everything is freaking high. Can we please catch a break? Like, we've been going through this crap since 2019. How much more? You wonder why we're all crazy? This is freaking why.
So what happens if nobody can afford anything? If prices keep going up like they have in the past 5 years, what happens in 5 more years if they keep going up at the same rate? I've seen so many stories from around the world of Housing has doubled in this city, or electric bills have tripled in this city. At what point can nobody afford anything? I honestly feel like we're already there. So many more countries are dealing with homeless crises. You hear more and more about cities just becoming absolutely unaffordable. All while there's less and less jobs. Applying for jobs takes years at this point, and if there are any jobs left, they're being taken by robots. So what's going to happen? Seriously, we have to be on the verge of something, right? I mean, it cannot trend this way forever. I just went to the grocery store and bought 4 things and it cost me $25. A single cabbage cost me $14 in Florida in the United States of America. It was a fairly large cabbage that made a lot of kimchi, but nonetheless, one vegetable should not be costing $14. I've completely stopped eating meat. I'm a vegetarian now because I can't afford meat. It's just also exhausting. I don't have the answers, and I'm hoping maybe you do. Or what do you think's going to happen? Because at this rate, I think nobody's going to have anything in a very short time. And I find that very scary.
Does anyone get completely overwhelmed and stressed when they think about the future? Like, I am living in an apartment and I have to buy a house. Like, eventually, at some point in my life, I'm going to have to buy a house. How, first of all, how am I going to save up money to buy a house? 1, 2, how does someone even go about buying a house? It is so stressful, and I just choose not to think. I choose to drink a lot because of this.
Don't mind the no haircut. I'm parked in front of the spot. Real honest question. Why does $100 feel like literally 20? Like $100 now feels like how $20 used to feel back in the day. Like real talk. Cause not gonna lie, with $100, if I'm going to the store for real, I'm really not buying much, bro. I went to Woolworths recently. I bought some chicken. I bought some bread. Nigga, just enough to barely fill up the bag. You feel me? I bought some beef, like just a couple proteins, some bread, some rice, all that. Nigga, that shit was up to $80, nigga. I only bought like 5 things. Like, what the fuck? And I'm buying Woolworths brand shit. And I'm not hating on Woolworths or nothing, but at the same time, let's be so real. Why does that shit feel so much? Like, bro, 5 things should not feel, or 5 things should never be $100 at a grocery store. You know what I'm saying? Bro, it should never be $100 at a grocery store, bro. I'm never getting a haircut, by the way, bro. Them shits is upscaled as fuck. But like I said, bro, that shit way too expensive right now, man. Way too expensive.
I'm holding my phone up because, my phone holder just broke amongst everything else. In the wise words of the prophet George Carlin, it's called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it. Meanwhile, I'm out here. I'm not asleep. I am wide awake. I am paying $6 for McCormick chicken dust today. Chicken dust. Chicken seasoning is $6 for a tiny little fucking jar. Eggs, $10 damn a dozen. Folgers coffee. Folgers coffee is now $20 for the, the lidded red jar. The tin that tastes like it was scraped out of a nursing home's drip pot in 1986. And then Trump's over here like, the economy's great. It's great. Really, bitch? That's why people are financing their groceries on Klarna like it's a Louis Vuitton bag. That's why we're out here afterpaying fucking bananas. By the way, I've lost my voice if you can't tell, just, from being sick and from crashing out this week over groceries. It's not the American dream. It is the American gaslight. And we're all just out here seasoning our fucking ramen with bad debt that we can't pay. You can't even treat yourself anymore. A Starbucks run feels like applying for a small business loan. A grocery store trip requires like a blood sacrifice in your firstborn and a cosigner with decent credit. Costco is absolutely terrifying. Like, I don't even want to go in. I mean, it used to be the land of abundance, and now I'm terrified. You walk in rather confident, and walk out broke and confused, holding a $40 jar of pickles and a kayak that you didn't know you fucking needed. And let's be honest, bill due dates, those aren't real anymore. They're polite little suggestions, sometimes polite, sometimes not. Credit cards be calling me like, ma'am, you're 4 days past due. And I'm like, and? Get in line, man. You'll get your $35 minimum payment when I'm done paying $12 for these eggs. I just realized I wasn't breathing there. And utilities don't even like pay the electric bill or buy milk for the kids' choices. But sure, tell me again about how wages are up. Yeah, cool. $3 more an hour so I can afford a half cart of groceries and a therapy session about why I cried in aisle 5 because the box of Cheerios was $9. $9. And at this point, I don't need a financial advisor. I need an exorcist because clearly the demons running this economy are thriving while the rest of us are out here bartending vibes and trauma for gas money. And when that doesn't cut it, guess who's going to be at the pawn shop with grandma's heirlooms? Not me. Yes, sir, it's a Victorian locket from 1892. No, I don't care what it's worth. Just tell me if it'll cover 2 gallons of milk and a tank of unleaded. For fuck's sake.
Hey, yo, so this how fucked up this capitalistic country of ours has got our people thinking. Let me talk to y'all real quick. So first of all, let me just say this, right? Because I know everybody on social media is fucking rich. Everybody on social media got their shit together. Cut that shit out. Let's cut that shit out right now. And we gonna get to the meat and potatoes right now. You understand what I'm saying? So first things first, because I see this debate going on Twitter, right? Let's address this. $1,500 for rent is way too fucking high. Let's just be real. Let's just cut to the chase. I don't give a fuck where you live. I don't care if you live in California. I don't care if you live in New York. I don't care if you live in Texas. I don't care if you live in Massachusetts. $1,500 for rent is way too much fucking money. Now, mind you, that is relatively cheap compared to a lot of other prices, obviously. That is why people with fucked up mentalities are saying, well, $1,500, that's cheap. No, it's not. No, the fuck it's not. It's really not. Because the average person cannot make enough to pay that kind of rent. But it ain't even just so much of that. If you have to pay $1,500 a month, your landlord or your leasing agent, whatever it is, they're going to expect you to make 3 times that every month. So basically, you have to make $4,500 a month at least to be qualified for an apartment that costs $1,500 a month. You understand what I'm saying? It is way too much. And we just talking about sometimes a fucking studio. A studio costs that much in some places. Shit, in New York City, they got fucking studios for $2,500 or better. So like I said, it's all relative. But let's be real. That's too much money. Now, why am I bringing this up, right? Why am I bringing this up? Because I see people on the internet, you know, these fucking naysayers, these fake motherfuckers out here, you know what I'm saying? Like, see, here's the thing. When people finally get in a position where they're finally doing well for themselves, their reality becomes unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, they have lost touch with reality. All of a sudden, they can't seem to relate with the rest of the world, right? Fuck that shit. You know what I mean? I make good money too, but I'm not unrealistic. So here's the bottom line, right? People who are suggesting, oh, man, well, maybe you should just get a better job. Oh, well, maybe you should just do more hours at work. Maybe you should, do a side hustle and blah, blah, blah. All those people that are suggesting that, right? None of that is going to work. None of that is going to work. Because here's the catch. Every time you find yourself figuring it out, they always find a way to fuck you for it. Every single time you find yourself figuring it out, they always find a way to screw you for it. So let's go back to COVID, right? Because COVID is really the root of this whole entire ordeal that we're experiencing right now. It's not to say that the cost of living wasn't already going up before that, but it has risen extremely high since COVID, right? Now, when COVID happened, there was hundreds of thousands, even millions of people that were unemployed, right? Now, during this time period, we've had hundreds of thousands and even millions of black entrepreneurs being bred. Black entrepreneurs being established during that time because they were in the house all day and they had no choice but to be creative. People were, designing T-shirts. People were designing masks. People were just, making their own hand sanitizer. You had women becoming lash techs, weaveologists. They're becoming nail techs, doing all of the above. You understand what I'm saying? Becoming entrepreneurs. And then, then they giving out PPP loans and all this other shit. What did they do? They screwed them. They screwed all of those people for figuring out how to fucking survive on the system, or figuring out how to fuck the system has been fucking us already for our entire lives. So stop trying to say that, oh, you should do this and you should do that, because every time you figure out a way, they just figure out a way to pull you right back down. Every time you go up, they're going to pull you right back down. You understand what I'm saying? So the problem isn't about making more money. The problem is they have to stop raising shit. Whether it's gas, whether it's groceries, whether it's rent, whatever the fuck it is, you can only work but so much. You're not a robot. Stop with that mentality. Stop suggesting that people should work more or work harder. Because here's the reality. Let me tell you what my reality is, right? When I tell y'all all the time why I want to become a content creator, do y'all think I give a fuck about y'all? Respectfully. No disrespect. I don't. And I know y'all don't give a fuck about me. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all probably just want to be in my business. And that's cool. But I'd rather get paid for that shit. I'd rather get paid for that. I want to be able to get up and go whenever I want. I want to be able to get up and travel whenever the fuck I want. I don't want to be getting up and punching in nobody's clock and trying to figure out how I'm going to survive. That's not the side of the world that I want to be on. You understand what I'm saying? Let's just call it what it is.
Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson, part of the short-term pain for long-term gain administration, had the audacity to look Americans in the eyes and tell us that the poor members of Congress are suffering. They haven't had a raise in years.
The salary of Congress has been frozen since 2009. When you adjust for inflation, a member of Congress today is making 31% less than they made in that year. It goes down every year. And over time, if you stay on this trajectory, you're going to have less qualified people who are willing to make the extreme sacrifice to run for Congress. I mean, it's just people just make a reasonable decision as a family on whether or not they can come and move to Washington, have a residence here, a residence at home, and do all the things that are required. So the counter argument is, and I have some sympathy, look, at least let them engage in some stock trading so that they can continue to take care of their family.
So let me get this right. Mikey over here wants us, the American people, to have some pity for the poor politicians that are only making $170,000 a year. That's not enough to raise a family. And his solution is we should let these politicians who have access to privileged information about how stocks may or may not behave, we should allow them to continue to have access to trade stocks. What a big heart. I'm glad someone like Mike Johnson is looking out for the little guys. Oh, wait. He's not, because roughly 80% of Americans make less than $100,000 a year. And you know what this administration and Mike Johnson like to tell the American public who are struggling right now to make ends meet? They like to tell them, just wait. Don't be a panicking. It's short-term pain for long-term gain. But don't you dare ask when this pain will end. They can't tell you because they don't know.
26% of people are concerned. 67% say they are stressed about their own personal financial situation. You know that generally the incumbent is punished in the midterms, and people are feeling very uncertain about how they're doing personally. How do you campaign against that?
Well, this relates to the last segment where we were talking about the Strait of Hormuz. Really, all points lead back to that. Gas prices are too high because of that, and then that has an effect on how goods are transported to the grocery store and all the rest. So as soon as we get that straightened out, we will get back to the kitchen table issues, the economic issues that we put in place to make the economy grow. The Working Families Tax Cut, the big beautiful bill, all the legislation we passed, put in pro-growth policies that will lead to bigger paychecks. We already had the largest tax refunds we've had in a long, long time because of our policies. And so we're really excited, anxious for that to be resolved so that people will feel that. And I think they will before they go vote in the midterm.
I've tried to make this video probably 8 fucking times because my emotions are just all over the fucking place, because every day here in the United States, I wake up every fucking morning to seeing some off-the-wall crazy wild shit that this administration has done or whatever. I'm fucking sick of it. I am sick of it. I am sick of it. I am sick of it. You guys are fucking stupid. Stupid, unintelligent, low IQ, you're fucking dumb, ignorant, unable to evolve, self-centered, misogynistic, narcissistic, evil, pedophiliac, fucking cannibalistic, fucking monsters. You don't give a fuck about women, you don't give a fuck about children, you don't give a fuck about US citizens, you don't give a fuck about nothing, 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 nobody, nothing. Even you, MAGA, they don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. Whether you're MAGA, whether you're active duty or a veteran, or if you're white, even if you're white MAGA, they don't give a fuck about you. When will you guys realize that the 3,000 people hold 50% of the entire world's wealth? 3,000 people compared to the rest of us, there were 8 billion of us. We're not even human to them. We're not. We're cattle. You know that? They view us as cows. And just so you know, being woke is not an insult, it's a compliment. And I highly recommend you wake the fuck up too, before it's too late.
The fact that some people are being called lazy because they don't work 2 or 3 jobs is insane work to me. I think America has lost the plot. I think we forgot that we are not supposed to work 2 or 3 jobs to survive. We are supposed to work 1 job, and that job is supposed to allow us to pay our bills and to allow us to partake in activities with our family. We are supposed to have a decent home and not have to work 7 or 8 jobs just to pay the rent. Back in the day, especially in the South, they used to have big ass nice homes. I mean, big ass homes for the low, okay? And that was normal. Having a big house, not even an apartment. Let's start there. But a house. It was normal to have a home that was very inexpensive, and their 1 job paid for that house. The fact that people are calling other people lazy because we are at a point where we don't want to work 2 or 3 jobs. We don't want to do the side hustles. We don't want to do the DoorDashes. We don't want to do the Amazon Flex. We don't want to do the Uber Eats. We don't want to do the side jobs, the 9 to 5 during the day and then turn around and do a night job. We don't want to do the part-time and the full-time job in one day. We don't want to do that. And the fact that some of us are being called lazy because we don't want to have 2 or 3 jobs, we're not supposed to have 2 or 3 jobs. And then turn around and complain that either mom or dad is not at home spending time with the kids because they're too busy out working. I think America has lost the plot. We are supposed to work 1 job, and that job is supposed to sustain us the entire way through. We have lost the plot.
You know what? I think if the economy is collapsing, I am going to get my tits done. Because what will $10,000 be in a couple of years? Probably worth nothing. Will the dollar collapse? Probably. But if I get my tits done, those can't collapse. Let me get in. Hey, man!
Pop quiz, what was gas costing on February 28th? Do you remember? This is before Trump and Vance started the war in Iran. It was $2.98 a gallon. And what's it today? The national average is about $4.50. In states like California and Ohio, it's way more. And just so we're clear, that is a 50% increase in 10 weeks. The administration named this war Operation Epic Fury, which besides the fact that it sounds like a flavor of Monster Energy drinks, it's actually the thing that's costing you more in commute money. A White House spokesperson called it temporary disruptions. Temporary, 3 months in. Meanwhile, Trump is calling Iran's peace proposal completely unacceptable. That's not temporary. Here's what temporary looks like in real life. Spirit Airlines is no more after 34 years. Whirlpool, the appliance company, their revenue dropped 10%, which, by the way, they called a recession-level hit. Tomatoes are up 40% from last year. Coffee is up 18.5%, and beef has gone up about 14%. And the president, who promised to bring costs down and promised to end overseas wars, said this week, and I'm quoting, "I don't think about Americans' financial situation. So the war's not ending. Prices are climbing, and the man in charge does not care. And we're calling this Epic Fury. The only epic thing is your Costco receipt." And just curious, what would you rename this whole operation? And the best answer will win the internet for the whole day. And follow for more.
It's literally getting to a point where we're all working for free. With gas prices on the rise, food costs going up, more people are having to hit up food banks. It literally feels like we're just working for nothing anymore. We're being completely priced out of existence. There's so many people that are out here losing everything that they have, myself included. It's like a year and a half ago, I went from having my own place, a phone, my car. I was still able to afford to buy food every week. And now I'm down to my car and my phone. And I'm still struggling to afford that, along with gas, food, everything else. Like, it's kind of getting to a point where it's just kind of like, why even bother stressing about any of this shit anymore? It's like, if you can live for today, live for today. You know, it's like your time is never coming back, and it doesn't really make any sense to sell your time for money that doesn't even buy anything anymore. You get a full tank of gas, it's like you're spending anywhere from $60 to $80. You buy yourself like 4 or 5 things from the store, and you're spending like $100, and it's just kind of getting to a point where it's just kind of like, why even try anymore? We're working for free, we're busting our asses, and we're not getting rewarded the way that we should be getting rewarded. I honestly feel like we should go on strike. We should be rising up, because how are we expected to survive, if that makes sense?
Literally, like, am having a actual crash out. I just spent $90 to fill up my tank. I live in California, so right now we have the highest gas prices in the nation. Before you say, like, you chose to live there, I was born here. I was born here, raised here, went to college here, got married here. Like, what do you want from me? Do you think I have the money to move? I live in California. All my money goes to living. Get home and I text my husband. I'm like, we really just need to like stop spending money. And he was so confused. He's like, huh? And I'm like, I just spent $90 getting gas. I'm over here talking like I just spent $90 on, I don't know, makeup or something. And I'm over here like giving myself a talking to as if I'm being irresponsible. Like, what kind of matrix are we living in? Like, so serious. And why do our parents keep telling us we're gonna be okay when they didn't have to live like this? Like, genuinely. They didn't have to live like this at all, actually. Just having another crash out, and there's literally nothing I could do about it. And like, what people don't understand is like, you need money to be able to move states. Also, like, let's not talk about the job market right now. Let's not talk about that. And then like cost of living, even if it's cheaper in another state, like wages are still not matching up to that. So like, what's your answer for that one? I'm gonna go color, because that's a free activity to get my brain off of this. And then I think I'm gonna clean my kitchen, because that's also a free activity. And then I'm probably gonna watch TV, because that's also a free activity.
Everyone hates their job now, and it's not like people ever like their job, but now they really hate their job, and it's simply because they're not making enough money. The cost of living is rising so much faster than people's wages to where you can't even build for a future. You can just barely get by. So you're literally working your life away. How could you ever expect someone to be motivated and enjoy their job?
I don't know who's out here living the American dream, but I can tell you one person who isn't, and that's me. I have 4 kids and I'm working 3 jobs and I'm still struggling. I have my full-time job. I'm a 911 dispatcher. My other 2 jobs, a waitress. The American dream should not be this hard. I should not have to be working my life away, being away from my kids. You know, sometimes I have to pick. Am I going to pay my electric bill or am I going to buy groceries? Because my kids need to eat. This is not the American dream. I'm so tired of struggling. You know, so many people are going to working multiple jobs just to pay for a house to sleep in, just to put their head down at night. This is not the American dream, not my American dream. That's why I started posting here on TikTok. So hopefully I can slow down some so I can spend time with my kids. Life shouldn't be this hard. I know one person that's making 6 figures and they're still struggling. Why's it gotta be so hard? Anyways, if you want to help this mama out from struggling, you know what to do. I'm headed into work at Buffalo Wild Wings today. I have to work a double, say a prayer, I make some money.
So I kind of wanted to make a video just like talking about this like realization I have. I mean, I've kind of had it for a while, but I've been doing this. I've been in the sociology class at college, and my teacher in there is he's like ranked in the top 5 teachers like in the entire country. He's a really good sociology. He's a really good teacher in general, but he's my sociology teacher. And we've been watching a lot of these documentaries by this guy named Michael Moore about the healthcare system in the United States, about our food in the United States, about the mass incarceration, about the war on drugs, about all these things. And all I can see during these documentaries is like people suffering, like real people in America suffering because of the consequences of capitalism, and about I don't even think that capitalism is like horrible. I don't think socialism is the answer either. I think that there's just things that we need to do to fix problems in America. And like after watching, like just seeing what like our healthcare system in America, like the amount of people that just die, the amount of lives that are ruined by just things that we take for granted in America, like the insurance companies, about like the monopolization of like our food, the monopolization of the healthcare industry, the monopolization of our prison industrial complex, of all these things, like how corporations just have corporations run our government, and and like I can't participate in it. And this is kind of like my realization that I think I want to start on the process of moving to another country or doing something, just because I can't, like the cost of living is going up so high in America right now, and like everything just the cost of living, like inflation and everything, but not even because of not it's all because of corporate greed. That's all it is, and it's just I don't know. And I asked my sociology teacher today, like, I've been struggling with like how much individual action can really affect change. And like basically what he was saying was that the system just has to fix itself. The system has to like destroy itself so that it can be remade. And like I don't want to believe that, but I kind of think it's true, in that I don't think that individual action can have much of an impact. And I would rather just focus on myself, focus on the well-being of me. And all I want to do is read and write and just educate myself, continue reading. And I like the cost of living is going up so high in America right now, and I don't want to get buried in medical debt. I don't want to get buried in student loan debt. So yeah, this is just me kind of ranting about. I think I'm like just done with having hope for America, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that's just my little rant. Let me know what you think. Peace and love.
Tell me how people are making more money than ever and still can't breathe. I had a talk with my friends the other day, and none of us are out here chasing private jets, yachts, or mansions. We all just want stability, enough to breathe and not panic each and every other week. But it's like no matter how much people make now, the cost of living is still going up. Groceries, rent, gas, everything's still up. Meanwhile, billionaires are out here celebrating deals, talking about how strong the economy is right now. Strong for who exactly? Because for most people, most normal people like you and I, it still feels expensive. But you feel it too, right? It's not just me and you.
So, like, is it me, or no matter where restaurant you want to go out to eat at with your friends, your family, yourself, the appetizers are pretty much the same price as the entrees? Because I shouldn't be spending no goddamn $30 on no crab cake. I shouldn't be spending $21 on mozzarella sticks. I know I took it too far, but why is appetizer so expensive? So I just want water and bread. Gas is up. You want appetizers to be up?
The U.S. economic system is inherently violent. People normally think of homicides or assaults when they think of violence. They don't think of things structural like poverty, shortening your lifespan. If you make $30,000 a year, your life expectancy is roughly 10 years lower than somebody who makes $100,000 a year. Right now, unemployment's 4.6%, labor force participation 61.9%. Even if you throw out the roughly 20% of the population whose retirement age and pretend they're retired, even though they're not, your actual unemployment is something like 22%. We have the fiscal capacity to lift these people out of poverty, establish social safety nets so that when the over 25% of the country who spends over 95% of their income on necessities falls on hard times, they don't fall into abject poverty, drastically shorten their lifespans, and die. But we don't fix those problems. So the US government and economy is implicit in those deaths. That's state-sanctioned violence. Just like with healthcare, we could have a single-payer healthcare system. We could have Medicare for all. Yale, other universities, other organizations have said we would actually save money by doing this, but that would hurt private insurance companies' profits. They lobby our politicians, and so nothing happens, even though over 45 to 68,000 US citizens die every year from lack of medical coverage. That would be the 8th leading cause of death in the US if we tracked it. Now, a certain party who likes to cut corporate taxes has convinced you that undocumented immigrants are a huge threat to the US. They're the #1 threat, and that they kill 4,000 people per year. Even though that's a lie, it's not even a tenth of the number of people who die due to lack of medical coverage. The real number is 2.2 per 100,000, which at the peak of 14 million is only 308 people per year. They lied to you so that they can get you to vote on identity politics so they can cut corporate taxes while killing you. It wasn't always like this. In the 40s, roughly 44% plus of our federal revenue came from corporate taxes. In the 50s, it was roughly a quarter. By the time Reagan got done shafting us in 83, it was 6.2%. After the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act that the Diddler passed, it is now, as of 2026, 5%, with over 50% coming from your income taxes, and us generating so far this year about $1.25 trillion. Keep that in your head. Warren Buffett says if you tax the top 800 companies at the 21% corporate rate with no loopholes, you can eliminate income taxes. The Diddler says if you let him tariff, he can eliminate income taxes. Let's see who's the brighter economic mind. Well, 2025 tariff revenue was $264 billion, minus the $130 billion we had to give back to the U.S. companies who actually pay the tariffs. So total revenue was $134 billion. Remember that $1.25 trillion number? Yeah, more than 9.3 times higher, and we're not even halfway through the year. He was never going to get rid of your income taxes. It was all a ploy to generate just enough revenue so that they could cut corporate taxes again, so that they could kill you and call it kindness.
The American people are not fine. I can tell you that because I am one. We're stressed, we're uncertain. Many of us are angry. We all should be angry, but many of us are angry. We're tired of being told the economy is great by people who are not living in our shoes. I'm tired of billionaires telling me everything's okay. I'm tired of billionaires who haven't had to pump one goddamn gallon of gas their entire lives tell me that everything's okay. I'm tired of billionaires and millionaires who haven't had to pay for their groceries, stressed out that we might be overdrawn, stressed out that we might have to put it on another credit card. I'm sick of those people telling me that everything's okay. Well, we're not okay. There's a new CBS News poll. Of course, it's not from Fox News, so MAGA will say it's not right. I say they're not right. A new CBS News poll found that a huge number of Americans are worried about their finances. 3/4 say their income is not keeping up with inflation. I passed the gas station today, $6.09 a gallon for gas. That stresses me the fuck out. 3/4 of the American people say their income is not keeping up with inflation. That means this is not just a bad attitude problem. This is not people refusing to work hard. This is not people who don't like Donald Trump. These are people getting punched in the gut, getting punched in the face every time they buy groceries, every time they try to pay their rent, every time they fill up their gas tank and it costs them $95 or $105 to fill up their gas tank. Every time they get bills in the mail, another stack of bills. Here's the part that politicians don't want to hear, but I don't care if they want to hear it or not. People don't feel secure. They don't feel content. They don't feel like opportunity is expanding. They feel like the ground underneath them has turned into mush. CBS says many Americans describe the economy as uncertain, unfair, and headed towards either a slowdown or an outright recession. And Americans under 50 are especially feeling like they have worse opportunities than their parents had. That is devastating news. Because for decades, people were sold the American promise, right? Work hard, play by the rules, get a job, build a life, buy a house, raise a family, retire with dignity. But now You can work full time and still be broke. You could work 2 jobs and still be broke. You can work 3 jobs and still be broke. You can have a good job and still be one emergency away from financial disaster. You can make more money than your parents did and still feel poorer because everything costs more. Housing is insane. I have 6 kids who work their asses off. Some are already in careers, they're in trades, and they will be lucky if they can ever own a house. And that's wrong. That's insane. Healthcare prices are outrageous. Groceries are ridiculous. What happened to Mr. President? On day one, everything will be affordable on day one. You believed it. I didn't. Wages that are dragging behind. Inflation that just came out this week. That's as bad as from day one. It's worse than when he took office, not better. And then leaders get on TV and they act all confused. Why are people so frustrated? Why are the American people so mad? It must be those Democrats that are mad. People are drowning. We are drowning in real life while politicians argue in their little fantasy land of millionaires and billionaires and conglomerates and corporations. This is not just about one party either. CBS says most Americans don't see either party as clearly helping with the cost of living. They may give Democrats a slight edge, but the bigger message is that people do not trust the system to actually fix their lives. And that should terrify every politician in America. It should terrify them, but they don't speak for the voters. They don't give 2 shits if we're starving to death. They've got their billionaires in their back pockets. But when people lose faith that hard work leads anywhere, society starts to crack. America's just a nice social experiment. It's lasted, going on 250 years? That's nothing compared to European empires that have been around for thousands of years. We're a youngin', and we ain't going to be here much longer, my friends, if we keep going down this road. When people can't afford homes, they delay families. When people can't afford health care, they skip treatment. They get sick. When people can't afford groceries, they don't need to be lectured by a billionaire president about, oh, just relax, everything's fine, it's the best economy in the world, best economy in American history. We see through the bullshit, Mr. President. We see through your demented, delusional bullshit. This is just, it's crazy. And Americans are not just being dramatic. We are responding to reality. We are looking at prices. We are looking at wages. We are looking at rent, at mortgages. We are looking at the price of gas. Again, where I am, $6.09 a goddamn gallon for gas. So my gas has doubled basically in the last couple of months. Oh, coincidentally, when the war in Iran started. But guess what? My gas doubled in the last 2 months, but my wages didn't double. So I'm making the same amount of money, but now when I go to the gas tank, instead of $35 for a tank of gas, it's $70 or whatever it is. Americans are looking at jobs, terrible job market. That's why Trump fired the woman that came out with the numbers. She was just reporting the numbers. She was just telling you the way it is. And he fired her because he doesn't like the truth. Americans are looking at the future and they're not very hopeful. They know. We all know something is broken, and it is. The economy should not be measured by stock charts and the Dow Jones and corporate profits or speeches from people in suits who have never had to struggle a goddamn day in their lives. It should be measured by a simple question. Can ordinary people live decent lives without being crushed? Right now, millions of Americans are answering no, we cannot. And until leaders take that seriously, all the happy talk in the world is just a bunch of bullshit. You find this relatable? Let me know. Let me know. TikTok pushes my videos out to 4 or 5 people at a time, so I don't know that you're even watching this. But if this resonates with you, let me know. Do all the things so I can reach more than 100 people in each video. Will you do that? let me know that this resonates, that this matters, that you can relate to it, that you're not one of Trump's billionaire friends, that you're not a billionaire president who probably hasn't had to pump his own gas since he was in high school, and maybe not even then. I appreciate a comment, and I will respond, and I thank you. Now back to the peace and quiet of the woods.
Here I am. It is 11:45 at night on a Wednesday. I'm sitting on my fucking bathroom floor because I feel like I'm going to have a literal mental breakdown. How are people surviving? How are we doing this? Like, single people specifically. Single people in their late 20s that live in a city. How the fuck are you surviving? Tell me. Please. Please. I am 27 years old. I live on my own in Philadelphia. I'm a woman. I went to school for 5 years. I have a bachelor's degree in digital marketing. I owned my own business for 9 years on top of that. And one, I can't find a job anywhere. I'm trying to utilize my degree. Can't find a job anywhere. I've been applying for months, almost a year. Can't. Nothing. Two, I'm struggling while living on my own. Struggling. Like, I can't even put food on my table. I can't even afford my bills. I'm playing bill roulette every single month. Savings, don't know her. Cushion, emergency cushion, don't know her either. I'm at a loss of words. How the fuck are people doing this? I'm on the fence, and I've essentially made the executive decision that when my lease is up, I have to move back in with my parents just to play catch up. Just to play catch up on debt, just to put money in my savings again, just to re-regulate my fucking nervous system. Because being in constant financial distress destroys your body, destroys your emotional sanctity. I'm in a constant mode of fight or flight, wondering if I'm going to make enough money to get by and survive and not get evicted from my apartment, or I'm going to be able to feed myself. Just basic human necessities. With my chronic pain, with my chronic symptoms, my chronic health issues, this is just like fucking poking the bear. It's poking the fucking bear. Being in a constant state of financial instability is horrible for your mental and physical well-being. And if you already have something baseline that is wrong with you health-wise, this is just like adding fuel to the fire. I feel like I'm gonna throw myself off a cliff. Like I can't even enjoy my life. My best friend gets married this year. And she's is having the most amazing thing happen to her. And I can't even emotionally be there for her because I'm struggling so much financially. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. And the fact that I have to move back in with my parents, and that is something that I've come to terms with, fucking sucks. I don't care what anyone says. It fucking sucks. I'm going to be 28 years old. Did I think I would be here? No. And I know the universe is laughing at me. You can't actually make a plan. I understand that. We have no control over anything. But what the fuck? This fucking sucks. Okay? Why is nobody angry? I'm fucking mad. I'm mad. It's not like I'm out here, shopping spree, traveling, getting my nails done, getting my hair done, drinking every weekend, can't afford my life. No. I haven't got my hair done. Look at her. What is that? And God knows how long. Nails? No. I don't drink. I don't drink alcohol already. I don't go out and drink. Haven't traveled since 2019. Haven't bought any new clothes in years, which is fine. Better for the planet. That's fine. But I'm not spending nothing. Everything I've had. And I still, God forbid, my shampoo and my body wash and my toiletries all run out at the same time. Oh my God, I'm impoverished. I can't even afford
to do little things. It's so expensive being poor and not having money. I have to split my rent up and use flex for rent, split it up half and half, because I can't pay it all at once. What the fuck is that about? What is that about? And I work full time, by the way. And I've been trying to get a second job, which is horrible for my body. Horrible for having a chronic pain condition. But this is just, it's a revolving door. It's a revolving door. I'm in constant pain, you know? And the constant pain allows me to not get a second job. After working 40 hours a week, get a second job. When I don't get that second job, then I don't have money to put food on the table. Then when I don't have that money, it stresses me out. And then it fuels to the chronic pain, and it's like back and forth, back and forth. Like, it's never ending. It's never ending. And I have to move back in with my parents because I need my body to settle. Like, this is crazy. You know, even if I were to move into another apartment at the end of the year, my credit score is tanked it's absolutely tanked from not being able to pay my bills on time. Destroyed. I don't have 3 months rent. I don't have first, last, and security deposit for a new apartment because that's what they all fucking require. I don't have that. God. Savings account? Don't know her. Safety cushion? Don't know her. I did. I had a really great relationship with her, actually, and now that's severed. And look where we are. Now we're sitting on a bathroom floor talking to a screen. Like, do you think I'm mentally well? Absolutely not. I plan to go back to nursing school. You know, I want to help women. I want to advocate for women. I want to be a nurse. I want to work in the gynecology realm. That's something that I hold near and dear to my heart. But do you think I'm going to be able to get through nursing school and pay my rent and work full time and remain mentally stable and my body calm down? No. No, one of those things has to go, and unfortunately, it's the thing that I don't want to go, and that's living on my own. And that's just more independence that I hold near and dear to my heart stripped away from me. Like, I love living on my own. This has been amazing. Like, it's been everything. Everything to me. And I just know in my soul that I'm not going to be able to continue doing it and remain healthy and be able to reach my goals, at least for this time period in my life. And it's extra hard for single people. I don't want to hear it. Oh, it's hard for everyone. No, it's extra hard for single people. People that don't have a roommate and don't have the ability to find a roommate. You know I know how it is. I know it's hard. It's hard for me. I don't have a partner that I can rely on. I don't have rich parents that I can rely on at all. They open up their home to me, and that's what they can do. I don't have anybody to rely on. I don't have a roommate that can help pick up the slack and carry me for a little bit. I have nobody. I have me. And I feel like I'm letting myself down here, and that sucks. And there's a lot of shame and embarrassment in that I just did not want to face. But unfortunately, I've gotten to the point where I have to surrender to it. If you are struggling and you're in your 20s, your late 20s specifically, if you're in your late 20s, single, and you're struggling and you're living on your own, I see you. It's different. It's different when you're approaching 30 and you're not where you want to be. I'm not talking about early 20s. That's different. That's a different realm. Late 20s specifically. Because I'm 28, moving back in with my parents. And that's just like not something I ever really imagined that I would be doing at 28 years old. But here we are. I don't know how I'm going to get through this, but I think I'm going to start filming it more. This has really helped talking about it, and I know I'm not the only one alone that is alone in this. Like, I know I'm not. We all suffer from a little bit of chronic uniqueness, and I'm really forcing myself right now to let that go because I'm not alone in it. So here's my journey, and if you listen to this full thing, thanks for listening, because this period of my life is not going to be my favorite, but I think it's going to be the most necessary. So I'm going to finish out the year strong in my apartment and love her and relish in her, and then I'm going to have to move forward without her.